So very good afternoon, everybody. This is Sujani from InterScience Institute of Management and Technology. And with us today, we have a great opportunity to hearing to a very learned person with her meritorious, sterling and incomparable words. She's a lady with distinct vision and a fountainhead illuminating ideas. It's a great opportunity for me and a great pleasure also to welcome Madam into the show. Let's give a very warm welcome to Professor Saveeta Mohanty from XIMB to our forum of IIMT openers. Thank you so much, Madam, for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So before we go ahead with this meeting, I will just give a brief introduction of Madam. Madam has completed her post-graduation in Human Resource Management from one of the most prestigious college of the country, that is XLRI Jamshedpur. She started her career with Wipro Corporation in Mumbai. On her shifting to Odisha after a brief stint in consultancy, she's entered an entrepreneur. Saveeta Madam set up a manufacturing unit for Dabur India to make their ranges of hair oils and tooth powders, for which she was also awarded the Best Lady Entrepreneur Award by Odisha Association of Small and Medium Enterprises. Saveeta Madam has been teaching in XIMB since 1987. That is, it is more than 30 years of teaching experience that she is carrying, which is awesome in it. Apart from her teaching and training in HRM and Soft Skills, she heads the placement at the XIM University, Bhubaneswar, and is currently the Associate Dean, Career Advisory Services. She has been an active member of CIA and also the convener of SSI panel. Currently, Madam is also a member of Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. She is an independent woman director, board member in several government and private corporations, including SBI, SIDBI, Bhubaneswar Smart City, Odisha Hydropower Corporation, Odisha Forest Development Corporation, Anugul Sikunda Railway Limited. Madam is also involved in many social service activities as a part of some NGOs. She has also been on the recruitment and promotion panel of DRDO as an external expert since 2003. Well, this is a lovely and this is such a dynamic profile I have ever been through, Madam. Let me congratulate you first.
Thank you.
And
thank you.
I welcome you. I give you a very warm welcome from the entire family of IIMT. Thank you so much for joining in and sparing you so much valuable time with all of us.
No. It's my pleasure. And it's always very nice to, in fact, it's an honor for me, that you remembered me and thought of me.
Thank you so much, Madam. So we are very much interested in knowing many things about you, ma'am.
Yes.
First of all, we'll start with understanding a little bit more about your place of origin, where do you belong to, and a little bit about your childhood, where you spent. So we'll a little bit to know about that thing. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm by birth, I'm a Sindhi. So my parents actually are from Karachi. And then they had to migrate during partition. They had to come to India. And then they settled my parents weren't married at that time. So Bombay was the base. But then my father had a job in Calcutta. So I did my schooling in Calcutta. And then when, that time the Nakshal problem started. So I chose to move out and I went to Gujarat, Baroda, MS University to study my BSc. I did my BSc there. And then I went to Jamshedpur at XLRI. And then I started my career with Wipro because by that time, my father retired and he decided to go back to home base, which is Bombay. So then we were there in Bombay and I got married in Bombay and to Mr. Mohanty, who's from Odisha.
Yeah.
And he was with Godrej at that time. So he got transferred to Bhubaneswar. So I also shifted here to Bhubaneswar because of that. Then we decided that we want to stay on in Odisha. So that's how we got, and we were lucky. I got that opportunity to set up that manufacturing unit for Dabur. So we had that going. And that's how we were able to stay on in Odisha. And Plus, I started teaching at XIMB since the year it started. So that time I was a part-time faculty. Then in around 2005, my business ran into a little bit of rough weather. So they had to close it down eventually. So at that time, luckily or coincidentally, XIMB wanted somebody for placements. So that's how I joined full time in 2005 for placements. So that's how I've been there. And I teach HRM subjects, but my main focus is in placements. And now I'm handling, earlier it was only the business management program and the rural management program. But now I look after the other programs also. But because business management is in the old campus, I'm in the new campus. I'm looking after all the programs in the new campus.
Okay.
Yeah.
So good to know, Madam. Madam, you have mentioned that you were there in Dabur India and you were an entrepreneur. You also got the best award for best lady entrepreneur. So, ma'am, can we know a little bit more about that?
Well, I got that award because I put that unit up in a record time. Because I felt that, no one should say that she's a lady, so she can't do it, because this was in 1991. And at that time, it was it was very male dominated, and there weren't many other ladies. Now there's so many ladies who are successful entrepreneurs. But at that time, there were hardly one or two of us. So I sort of thought that no one should say that because a lady that can't do it. So I put my sincerest best and I set it up, and that was actually that made me get the best entrepreneur award for that year.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Actually, that happens because being women, there are many constraints, and even being an entrepreneur, there are also many constraints. So mixing it up and then coming up with the best award for the entrepreneur is so classy. It's so nice, dear Madam.
Yes, and at that time also your other struggles are. Your children are small.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got two daughters.
I'll be coming up to that question also, ma'am. So, ma'am, we would also like to know, as a person or as a student studying in the college, did you had any aspiration of becoming something? Now today you're in heights up there. So, had you had some aspiration long back when you were studying in the college?
Yes, I always had, one of the things which I always dreamt was to be sitting in a board of directors meeting. So when I did attend the first one, I got a little emotional because it was something which I had ever since I was a child. Not a child, I mean, when I just grown up. And one of the stepping stones was that my father was trying to put up a small unit to manufacture some engineering items. That didn't work. It didn't. I had to close it down. But he had made me a partner in that. So that was the baby step of my. And so actually, because of the kind of situation that my parents, my father, and all, they migrated, they left everything. They had came here as refugees in India. They were literally staying in refugee camps and all that. So, and he had sisters. So he was, they had to struggle a lot. And so, he and his sisters always felt that nothing is impossible. You have to survive. So he inculcated that in us also. We are also three sisters, no brothers. So he has, sort of brought us up with that kind of a thing. That, don't say no to anything. Try out everything.
Exactly. This is the motto that we should move on. Very nice, ma'am. So, ma'am, did you consider your father as your mentor? Or,
yes, very mentor.
Learned?
Yes. In fact, what is very unique is that my father was a person who encouraged us, and he was a tremendous guide, support, and And my mother was also in another way, because she was a very domesticated lady who believed that a woman's place is at home.
Yeah, yeah.
So she used to grill us with all that domestic work. And my father used to let us go out, go on camping, do things, travel on our own. So, so I got the best of both things.
Best of both the things,
And
inside as well as outside. Yeah.
that has
Hmm.
contributed to what we are today.
What you are today, yeah. So, madam, a lot many things has happened, like the migration and again coming up into the life, becoming so tough in your positions. So, how has been life to you? What are the various challenges? I mean, you would have faced in your upbringing till now.
Uh-huh. To start my conversation, I'd say I think I have been lucky. There are many things
Okay.
that I have been lucky, situations have been positive, or this thing. And so, in terms of, I would say, rather than challenges, I
Yeah.
would say that I grabbed every opportunity.
Okay.
Now, see, challenges like when I was putting up the factory, delays, that electrical fellow won't come or the construction fellow won't come. Those were the little chutku chutku things with the problems,
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
but nothing major.
Nothing major.
Yes,
Yeah.
at that time there was a little bit of a resistance that she's a lady, how will she do it? That kind of, because that was the culture
Mm-hmm.
in Odisha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hmm.
So that was, of course, I had to face often, but I overcame it by, showing that no, I can do it.
Yeah.
So, sometimes people will say, nah, well, how can we do it? Like, how will you do it? In fact,
How will you do it? It
one
happens
person,
like
yeah,
in family, most of the responsibility is
no,
being
I
carried by
was,
the
yeah,
woman.
no,
Yes.
but I was also very lucky that I had very, very supportive in-laws, very supportive.
Okay. Oh, wow.
That's what I said. I've been very lucky in life. So I have been able to, my in-laws were very, very, very supportive,
Very supportive.
very supportive.
So that
Beyond,
helped you in sense of
yes,
making a good balance into your work
yes,
and your
yes,
work life. Okay.
yes. And
So
that
that
really, because when the children were small, my mother-in-law
yeah.
would take care of them. And when I was setting up the factory, my husband got transferred to Bombay. So I
Okay.
was all alone. So my
Mm-hmm.
father-in-law also used to help me come to the factory. He was old, but he used to come and help me and give me technical advice and things like that. So that was really a good thing for me.
That was a good thing that
Yeah.
helped you to have a balance in both the sections.
Yes. Yes.
So, ma'am, the next one, which is very nice and which I really want to ask you that what are the different type of passions you carry in your life, madam? What do you do apart from your work? What are the extra things that you like doing in your life?
My single passion is traveling.
Traveling. Okay.
So, that is of course, I like meeting people. So that, and luckily, I've been able to utilize both these things on my job.
Okay.
So I travel a lot, and also I get a chance to meet new students and people. And then when I go and meet companies, different companies. So meeting different people. So it's always, I mean, that's my passion, which I've been able to really, and that is what drives me. That
Okay.
that excitement. The art. So, and I believe that you should put in your best efforts for everything.
For
Every
everything.
single
Yeah,
thing.
ma'am, we can also see that you have a private pilot's license holder. You're a private
That
pilot
was when I was
license
in
holder.
college. When I was in college,
Okay. Oh, that time you were in college.
yeah, in college they wanted to encourage girls to fly, so they had given us a scholarship, and so I
Okay.
was able to get a private pilot's license. I did pursue it a little bit more thereafter, But then once I started working in Bombay, it wasn't so practical to, and it was hobby flying actually.
It was your hobby.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But one thing I've learned from that is look up and ahead, don't look back.
Yes. Mhm.
That's something that has taught me that look up and ahead,
Look up ahead. Yeah, sky is your
the
limit. You go
limit.
ahead and you
Yeah.
explore everything. Yeah, that's correct.
Yes.
Ma'am, you have been mentoring so many students throughout your life. So, ma'am, can you tell us some type of skills that the students should require while they are facing the world for their career development? What are the different attributes of skill that the students would require?
More than skills, first I'll say attitude.
Okay.
Okay. The first attitude is the willingness to learn. Because see, when we are just finishing college, we tend to think, let my college finish, how are my grades going to be,
Hmm.
how we don't really think 30 years down the line or 40 years aloud that where will I be, what will I do. There are people who do that. We say, okay, we want this with this career, or we want this vocation, or this line. So my now, when I look back, one major thing is that always be willing to learn, grab every opportunity to learn, because every learning, every bit of learning contributes to what you're going to be 30 years, 40 years in your life, right?
Right.
And that makes you so much more richer. Because what we tend to sometimes say, no, 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 I will do this, I will do that. And in the bargain, we lose out on opportunities to one,
Exactly.
learn, two is to see that maybe I can do this, I'm very good at something else. So
Hmm.
that's my first thing about, one advice which I would say. The other thing I would say is that, so therefore give yourself a fair chance to
Right.
succeed, right?
Hmm.
Second thing is that believe in what you're doing.
Exactly.
Whatever you do, don't just be, so that therefore you must put in your sincerest best. Whatever. Even your studies, when you're studying, study sincerely and you will be rewarded. What we tend to say, no, I want this kind of a package, I want this kind of salary. No, don't do that. How can I put in my best? Money will chase you. You put in your best, you in class, in your studies, you put in your best effort, marks will chase you. Marks will come automatically. So put in your sincerest best. So these are my two major messages in terms of attitude. In terms
Right.
of skill, of course, everyone knows, how am I able to convey my thoughts? Because in the world, that is what's happening. You're
Exactly.
communicating all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to be able to think in a logical way so that you can convey your thoughts in a clear way. So that is the message I have. Right. And
Thank you. Thank
as
you.
I said
Yeah.
that, you must know what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Hmm.
Believe in what you're saying.
One must be clear, then only you can convey what you want to
Correct.
communicate.
Correct.
Madam, you have been going through different sessions of recruitment, and you're coming up with different type of candidates, different type of students coming to you. So, ma'am, how to make them actually ready for an interview? What are the things that we should tell them to get to be very fine in the interviews so that
Yeah.
they can face it well?
Yeah. See, one is uh, know what you're saying, right? It's like, like when you're facing a company, it's not that you should behave in a way that, okay, I have to do this interview, or I'm looking for a job. So, because the company, what the whole process of recruitment is that, how do I the company is looking for the right person to do the job. So you have to showcase what you have, how it meets your requirements, right? So one message which I always tell the students is, if you don't get selected, it's not that you're rejected. You're not rejected. People think, oh, Milani, I got rejected. No, you never got rejected. Just that your abilities didn't match the needs of the job. So you will find a job to match your abilities and capabilities. So that is what you have to showcase, right? So one is that you must know what you're saying. Like very often, I've seen kids go to the thing and ask the company, says, "What do you know about us?" and say, "I don't know anything about you." Then the guy will say, "Arey, you don't know anything of me. That means you don't want to join me. Why should I take you?"
Exactly.
So be it that, or even what the JD say, they give you a JD, right? So how do you have to show how you match that? What are your skills, your abilities, which means also knowledge. So you have to be prepared with your technical knowledge as well as your ability to convey it. How you can convey that. So preparedness in that. And how do you prepare? Talk to your friends, record your voice, etc., etc. The other thing is in terms of your own presentation. That is very important. How you present yourself, the way you dress, the way you talk. You shouldn't be very sloppy like that. You have to be there, right? And not have a casual attitude. That's those are.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Preparedness is the main thing.
Preparedness, Madam, very nicely put down everything into it. Ma'am, one more thing is that we learn from you. Actually, when we look at you, we look up as an idol. We want to learn from you. We get motivated. Now, this is what we want to be there in the students also. Now, how to make them motivated? These people, what happens? Certainly, after months of learning, they get demotivated. Somehow, in some other way, even in the this pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic. After that, we are running a little bit, not so good with the terms of jobs and with the terms of companies that are following in the campus. So, how to make them motivated? That is again a problem for all of us. So, how to make these students motivated in their way?
Yeah. See, one thing is that, as I said, look up and ahead. The only way is up, right? Even in the down situation, there's always the up.
Up situation, day and night.
And so that circle is going to happen. I have seen so many recessions. In 2008, and again recently there were downturns, right? So what I convey to the students is that even in that situation, you have to make the best of it. And sorry, to make the best out of it, you have to be flexible.
Flexible, exactly.
Right. So that flexibility is there. That if you don't get this, take that. Where students get stuck is that, oh, it didn't happen. Nothing is going to happen for me. No. So I have to find out a route, and only I can do it myself.
Exactly.
Right. So motivation, you can't inject motivation to anybody.
Exactly.
Right. But you have to inspire them or guide them. Right. So my message to the students is that you have to keep on. It's like a gadi, that you're starting. You have to keep on starting it on your own.
Then automatically it will get its mileage.
It will get its mileage. So you don't
Thank
have
you so much.
So you have to but main thing in that is that one is that you don't lose hope, because if there is a down, there is a up. And if there's always some, what they call a patli gali. There's some patli gali out. So you find that gully out, and you will
that
find the
willingness
end.
has to be there. Yeah.
Yes. So
if you have a will, then definitely you have a way.
And the only way and to get that is that you don't lose heart.
Exactly.
Right. So I can tell you, don't lose heart. But genuinely, you have to not lose heart and find that patli gali.
Yeah.
And I have seen
Madam, let me tell you, you have got a gift of talk. We love listening to you.
Thank you so much. I've only got this stuffy nose.
Ma'am, so the last one for all of us over here. So any advice or suggestion on personal terms and view if you want to give to our students, we'll be very happy to take it up.
Well, no advice, but my only thing is that believe in what you do and put in your sincerest best. That's all. And that is the message I taught my children also. I told them, I said, I don't care whether you come first or last in class, but I do care whether you have put in your best efforts or not. I will not get upset if you don't do well in your class, but I will get very upset if I am not convinced that you haven't done your best. So that is the thing. Whatever you do, put in your best efforts.
Thank you, Madam. Very simply put down, but very strong enough to motivate all of us over here. Definitely, our students are going to get a lot of learnings out of this session. And thank you again. Thank you so much for sparing your so and most valuable time with all of us.
Indeed, my pleasure.
Ma'am, we would also like to have some mentoring sessions and some different type of sessions with you in the future, if you kindly will spare some time with us.
Surely.
So thank you, Madam. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.